Jontina Vieira, host of Carpe Diem TV, now shares with you her favorite experiences from her travels abroad, bringing Europe to the USA and the USA to Europe, meeting interesting people from around the world, treating her audiences to a lifestyle of enlightening grandeur and elegance, communicating how beautiful life is. Jontina Vieira presents Art Basel, Miami Beach and the Vizcaya Museum and Gardens. Come join us as Jontina now welcomes you along her journey to beautiful Miami, Florida, a flourishing southeastern city and international port located along the Atlantic Ocean, home of the Vizcaya Museum and Gardens. And just across beautiful Biscayne Bay is Miami's beautiful beachside neighbor, Miami Beach, Florida, rich in history as an international entertainment, arts and cultural destination. A city of unique distinction, from world-famous Art Deco architecture to renowned nightclubs to designer fashions on Collins Avenue. And it is here in Miami Beach, Florida, where you will visit with Jontina Art Basel Miami Beach, a cultural and social highlight for the Americas. With over 30 blocks of hotels and buildings dating from the 1920s to 1940s, Miami Beach's Art Deco Historic District has been listed on the National Register of Historic Places since 1979. And nearly every building has been meticulously restored and painted to its original pastel colors. The largest surviving collection of Art Deco architecture in the world. And back on the mainland on the edge of Miami on Biscayne Bay, Jontina Vieira also takes you on a tour of the magnificent Villa Vizcaya Museum and Gardens. Originally the wondrous estate of American industrialist and International Harvesters Vice President James Deary. Enjoy. Art Basel, Miami Beach. At the Miami Beach Convention Center. Art Basel Miami Beach, an annual contemporary art exhibition held each year in Miami, Florida, has fast become the most prestigious art show in the United States, the sister event of Art Basel, Switzerland. Art Basel Miami Beach has been held annually since 2002 and is literally held throughout the city each December, providing an international selection of more than 250 leading art galleries and over 2,000 artists from North America, Europe, Latin America, Asia and Africa. In just 8 short years, Art Basel Miami Beach has now eclipsed the original Art Basel in size and popularity. More than 600 galleries apply for inclusion in the exhibition, but only 250 accepted. galleries selected from 33 countries showcase paintings, sculptures, installations, photography, editions and videos. The show's list of participants makes Art Basel Miami Beach the most prestigious art show of the Americas, featuring highly established art galleries and the most dynamic newcomers. Art Basel Miami Beach was one of Sylvester Stallone's first official gallery showings, featuring large, bold expressionist pieces that seem to jump from their canvases. Enjoy as Giantina Fiera takes you on a whirlwind visit throughout the Art Basel Miami Beach displays in the Miami Beach Convention Center.
Giantina Fiera, and I'm very impressed with this art. Can you tell me something about it?
It's one of the newest paintings by Richard Phillips, one of our artists. It's fairly new, especially made for the fair. It's always a little bit critical what he does, playing with role models, what it represents, passion also, and then with a black background, you know, interpretation is also up to the viewer and the audience, obviously.
Here we see another artwork, and it is from the same painter, or is that another painter?
It's another painter. He's called Albert Owen. He is German. He's in his mid-50s, and this is also one of his newest series works of art. It's a painting, also a collage, and it comes from posters, also from billboards, and then he collages and paints on top by hand.
This is a work by one of the most prominent living American artists, Jim Dime, an artist who built his reputation in the early 1960s as a part of the happenings and early pop art movement.
This art is from
Mark Swanson, and there's another example here of Mark Swanson's work also. We believe very strongly, though, in contextualizing younger artists with artists of great merit and well established. So that's why in this part of the gallery you see works by Henry Moore, Pablo Picasso, Matisse, George Baselitz, Mangold, others.
Thank you very much for the presentation.
Seize the day.
Seize the day, yes. Today we are here in the Art Basel, and behind us we see a very, very nice car, all silver.
It's Subodh Gupta, a younger Indian artist. So we just had a first show in London with. So this is a piece, this car you see here, that's a cast of this real car called Ambassador, which was a car they used, for example, prime ministers to drive them around in India. It's cast aluminum, so it's like one piece. You can't really open it, so you can't sit in it or so. It's hollow in there, but you can't drive around. It's just like... And he's a younger generation confronted with these kind of two realities, kind of the old traditional India with rituals, and then also like at the same time he's from the younger generation with technology, computer, that other India, and there's a big gap between the two. And for him, this is what his work is also about, to take these objects from Indian life, turn them into an art object.
Here there's, yes, new works. This one is a neon that represents hummingbirds that are drinking. And what he does is he always combines a figure, in this case the hummingbirds, with sentences. And in this case we have the sentence that says, "We have no morals."
Right.
Yes.
Very interesting. Very nice.
Thank you.
What we have here is an installation of the art of one artist named Brent Green, who is a 31-year-old self-taught filmmaker, and all these sculptural items are built by the artist himself, and they're from the sets of his films. So right over here you see this is a piano that he built. This came right from the set of this new film.
You said this piano is working?
It does work.
It's working.
Anyway, you get the idea.
Yes, we get the idea.
The chair, this lamp, that's in another film of his. This big angel over here is from his new film. These items are very recognizable in his films. It's very, very exciting.
It's very special.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
The artist is Anish Kapoor, who is an artist from India, who lives in London. What you see is, the reflection, although, and the work is made of stainless steel. The artist, actually, one of his works now is on show at the Guggenheim in New York, and also at the Royal Academy in London.
Here is another picture from an artist.
There are two artists, actually. Laura Casadilla is their names. They work in Puerto Rico. And they deal with political issues. This work, for example, is from a photograph that they found on in the web of that American soldiers who are stationed in Iraq are posting photographs of how they celebrate. For example, in this one, they celebrate Halloween. You see the leisure time of American artists in Iraq. And they made a huge sort of real-life wood screen out of this little image that they found in the web. So it's political, but at the same time it's kind of powerful to see the work.
It's a solo presentation by Agathe Snow, and she was born in Corsica, but she was raised and is still based in New York City. Our gallery is in Lower Manhattan, and we've been open for about 3 years now. This is our first time participating in the Art Basel Miami Beach Art Fair. America is in this new sort of Renaissance period. Because of this neo-Renaissance, Agathe has been exploring or revisiting Da Vinci's concepts and ideas. And so one of the first pieces made in this series was this chariot over here, loosely based on this drawing that Da Vinci made, or this rendering that Da Vinci made for a flying machine, which basically looked like a cross between a bicycle and a helicopter. And sort of the humor of these sort of never achieved sort of attempts is also sort of like embraced in these works. Highlights of Agathe's career over the last couple of years, she was one of the artists in the 2008 Whitney Biennial in New York. And she's also in several really great public collections, including the Guggenheim Museum, Saatchi collection in London, the Zabludovich collection in London, and the DeQ collection in Denver, Colorado.
Vizcaya. museum and gardens. You can but still feel the heart and soul of Mr. James Deering when you tour this wondrous estate. One can only imagine the hardships, the goals, the grief, the laughter spent. Despite the many years having gone by, the legend still remains. Originally the wondrous estate of James Deering, an American industrialist and International Harvesters Vice President, the estate has since become a publicly owned and operated historic landmark, featuring a vast collection of European art and architecture, purchased overseas and shipped to America to be integrated into Villa Vizcaya's then ongoing design and construction. Built during the epoch time period of American Renaissance, it was in 1910 when James Deering first conceived his plan to build this estate, in what was at that time nothing but a snake-infested jungle, in a rural, undeveloped wetland known as Miami, Florida. James Deering first saw his dream materialize in 1916 when the main house was completed. The gardens and surrounding landscape would not be completed until 1922. When Deering first began to build his winter home, Deering had engaged the assistance of a young New York painter, Paul Chalfin, to supervise the entire project, and together they traveled throughout Europe, surveying architecture for ideas and gathering the many pieces that would eventually be shipped to Miami to be installed, such as doors, wall panels, mantels and ceilings. At the time of construction, over 1,000 people were employed in the Vizcaya project, 10% of the local Miami population, including laborers and craftsmen from the Caribbean and Europe. It was a fully functioning complex that included a farm, livestock, and a variety of other service facilities that spanned across 180 acres. Vizcaya was built as a solid fortress, the structure made entirely of concrete, with steel-enforced floors making the structure resistant to termites, decay and hurricanes. Materials were brought in from around the world by ship and by train. When James Deering was in residence at Vizcaya during the winter months, Deering hosted parties for visiting luminaries such as film stars Lillian Gish and Marion Davies, politician William Jennings Bryan, inventor Thomas Edison, artist John Singer Sargent, and President Warren G. Harding, as well as family and less famous friends. To maintain this illusion of carefree luxury, he had a housekeeper and 12 staff to maintain the estates to his standards. Laundry would be done by hand and dried discreetly in walled yards. Carpets, curtains and linens were removed, cleaned and stored at the end of the season. And each summer, every book in the library would be wrapped in newspaper to discourage insect infestation. The house was fully equipped with all the modern conveniences of the time, including elevator and telephone. And fully equipped kitchen. The first set of gilded tableware ordered by James Deering was lost on board the ill-fated Titanic of 1912, and a replacement set was eventually obtained. A popular venue for weddings and other special events, numerous dignitaries have visited the estate, including Queen Elizabeth II, Pope John Paul II, Presidents Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton, and King Juan Carlos I and Queen Sofia of Spain. The Villa Vizcaya estate is one of the most complete remaining architectural examples from the American Renaissance time period. In 1925, James Deering died on board an ocean liner returning to the United States from France. It was not until 1952 that the estate was conveyed to Dade County, Florida, and is now today an accredited museum and National Historic Landmark, owned and operated by Miami-Dade County and governed by the Vizcaya Museum and Gardens Trust. Each year, Vizcaya welcomes 140,000 local residents and guests from across the globe to enjoy the site. As stated in the current website story of Vizcaya, the estate is not a product of a few, but of many people from different backgrounds, including artists, designers and craftsmen from Italy, Colombia, Germany, Scotland, Ireland, Czechoslovakia and the Bahamas. Their skills, combined with those of local builders who were familiar with the climate and its challenges, created a unified vision from a diverse range of traditions. In this way, Vizcaya is a symbol of the internationalism that has been a driving force in Miami, and the unique blend of cultures, languages and traditions that make it one of the most exhilarating and cosmopolitan cities in the world. Vizcaya.